So in this video, we will go over a few tasks. We'll add an event-driven data layer in our sandbox. We'll customize the event-driven data layer for our web page. We'll add the search discovery data layer manager extension and activate it. Then we'll modify the page name and the page URL data elements to capture the data layer values from the event-driven data layer. In the end, we will validate the changes. So let's go on to our sandbox right now. So if you see in my sandbox, I don't have any data layer. If I go and search for it, let's say data layer, you can see I don't see any prompt from the developer tools, which means I don't have the data layer yet activated in my sandbox. Now let's try. Yeah. So now what I'll do is I will go and I have a ready to use data layer script available. I'll be sharing this link in my GitHub. I'll just copy this data layer and paste it in my sandbox. There you go. Okay, let me just format it. This is a script, it has to be under the script tag. Okay, there you go. Great. So now you can see this is the event-driven data layer that I've added into my website. It basically has an event that gets triggered called page loaded, and then there is a JSON notation, a JSON object that I can use it in my website. So now I've added this. Then let's go to the website and recheck if the data is getting activated. Let's do a refresh. Okay, let's search for data. Now as you can see, the data layer has been pushed into my web page. It contains all the same objects that I have defined: page, page info, page name. Now this is an event-driven data layer. So for it to be used in our launch, we need to add another extension called the data layer manager. Let's search for it. There you go. Now this is a very helpful extension done by Search Discovery. I highly recommend to use this. There is another extension that has been developed by the Adobe consulting team, which is called Adobe Client Data Layer. This is also very helpful, and it's something similar to what Search Discovery's data layer manager is. And the best thing is for free, so you can definitely use it. But for now, I'll just go for the data layer manager because I just want to show you how to use the event-driven data layer and how to manage the data element. So I see this, I click on install. Now what you need to give here is your data layer object name. The data layer object name is what are you using to define your data layer. So right now I'm using window.datalayer.push. So my data layer object name out here is data layer. So just type data layer and click on save to library. Okay. Now we have added a data layer manager. Now I will open up my data elements. As you saw it in my previous video, I have page, page name, page URL, and static string. So if I open up the page name, it is currently set to the title attribute of my page. Now this is already working, so you might wonder why should I go and change it. That's exactly what Jim Gordon from Jim Analytics has talked about. You should not be dependent on DOM objects or CSS scraping because you never know when this might change. Now for example, right now I'm just capturing the page name as geometrics. But what if I want to add a few more parameters? Then I have to do a lot of custom coding, which is not recommended. So what I'll do is I will change the page name data element from capturing the title attribute to the new event-driven data layer attribute. So what I do is I go down, I select the extension, I make it context aware, I can select these values, and in here I need to give the notation of my page object. So it's page.pageinfo.page name. So I say page.pageinfo.page name. Okay, rest all I'll keep it as blank, unchecked. I'll save the library. Okay, now let's do the same thing for the page URL. Page URL is page.pageinfo.page URL. So I'll just select data layer manager, context aware, and make it lowercase value, and I'll give the notation out here. Page.pageinfo. Let me just quickly check it. Yes. Okay. Click on save to library. Now I've made the changes out here, and as you have seen it in my previous videos, I need to go and rebuild the library. So let's just give it a couple of seconds. If everything is fine, the library is going to be built. Now just go here. Now just keep this value in mind. The page name was defined by the page title attribute, and it was just capturing geometrics. Now if I refresh this, okay, now I'll go and say underscore satellite.getVar page name, and you can see it's coming as geometrics home page. This is the value that I've asked my developer to pass in the page name attribute. Now let's say I want to change this to index page, right? Just go and check it. It will become as index page. Now tomorrow, if I change my data layer from page name to page title for some reason, right? Now I cannot use this directly out here because obviously launch is just capturing the page name. Now that's exactly what I have it in my page name attribute. So now what I need to do is I need to go here and just say page.pagename.page.pageinfo.page title. Click on save, click on build. Okay, let's do a refresh. There you go. Right. So underscore satellite.getVar page title. Now if you would like to see what is the value that is being sent, just need to type the object page.pageinfo, if I get it correct. Page name, let's see if this, no, I knew there's something, let me see. Yeah, I need to give it a array number, or I can just give it the data layer dot computed state. Let's see, data layer dot computed state. Okay, there you go, data layer dot computed state, and that's exactly what I have it in my website code. So with this, I've shown you how to integrate the event-driven data layer, how to enable the search discovery data layer management extension. I also briefly talked about the Adobe client data layer extension, and we have now validated the values that are being passed from the website into a data layer and into a data element. With this, I'd like to close the video. Thank you for your time.